Do you hate Link Jokers? Are you sick of constantly fighting Chaos Breaker decks all the time in locals? Let's turn that frown into a smile because it's time to save your locals with awesome Alfred deck. Alright, before I begin, I would like to give a little backstory about this deck. I'm sure that many of you longer subscribers have knew that I main this deck for a really long time. Alright, the story is long ago when GBD5 was released, every single player in my locals was playing CBD decks. Obviously, because Chaos Breaker's Dragon has the new stripe, which is Chaos Universe, and it is unstoppable. It's one of the best engines in the whole game. And my local tournament was actually really horrible. I was fighting Chaos Breaker Dragons every day. So no one dared to play other decks because due to the lock mechanism, no deck can be played. Royal Paladin was not seen anywhere, Neo Nectar was gone. Nobody's playing any decks other than Chaos Breaker Dragon. So one day I've decided something had to be done to save my locals, and I've built this deck, and you guys have actually watched me play this very often, and brought it to my local tournaments. The best part of it is, as I defeated reverse fighters, I've watched them unreverse under the King Holy Sword. So that's freaking awesome, man. Alright, so thanks to this King Sword, my locals was once again saved. A huge variety of decks was finally seen in local tournaments, and everybody was happy because Chaos Breaker Dragon, that every Chaos Breaker Dragon that fought Alfred knows how shitty it feels. Yep, that's how shitty I felt when I used Royal Paladins against Chaos Link Joker decks. So without further ado, let's get on to the deck profile. Alright, this is one of my very favorite decks. Obviously, if you see my my display pics, Alfred was one of my avatar. I include Alfred in all of my decks because of how good he is. It's not because of how good he is, it's because he's my true avatar since the beginning. Alright, so let's get on deck profile. First, we play 4 copies of Origin of Light Alfred the 14. XIV, as you guys know, is called 14. His ability is Legion. His skill is Continuous Legion. For each Seeker you control on the field, gains plus 1k power. So even if you Sigmate into your Blaster Blade Seeker, it is considered another Seeker unit, so at least it'll be 21k. And if you have 5 or more Royal Paladin units on the field, you gain plus 1 crit. So even if you have a field full of non-Seeker, as long as you have a full field, you gain 1 crit. Very nice card as a backup if you do not strike. Second ability is Activate. Counterblast 2 Seeker. Each special counterblast 2 Seekers. If you do superior, call 1 Seeker from your deck and call it to your Rearguard Circle. So this skill is not really used much. We mainly use this skill because we use Holy Squire Dragon, which allows you to unlock every single card. However, it needs an Alfred in the hard name. So yeah, 4 copies of Alfred the 14th because he's just freaking amazing. And he has the 11k base, which doesn't really matter to be honest. Next is 4 King of Night Alfreds. Alfred's skill is this unit can't be boosted. His second ability is, as a Vanguard, for each Royal Paladin you have on the field, it gains plus 2k power. So, when you attack, and you have 4 other Royal Paladins on the field, he is an 18k attacker. So, yeah, obviously can't be boosted. He is great because he's just, obviously just Alfred. And he's great also as well because of his third skill. Count Blast 3, Superior Call 1 card, 1 grade 2 or less Royal Paladin onto your Rearguard Circle. Yeah, sometimes if your opponent were to Great Lock you at a grade 2 rush, you could actually, in emergency use, you can use his special Count Blast. His Count Blast 3 and Superior Call 3 units. Yeah, 8 copies of the King itself. If you wish to play the Legion, it's fine with me, but I find the Legion kind of slow. So I prefer to go right into Alfred and strike immediately. So that's why I play 8 Alfreds. Next is 4 copy of Bannon. His ability is when this unit is placed on the Rearguard Circle, you can counter blast 1. If you do, superior call 1 6k or less unit from your deck and call it to the same column as this unit. So what we do is normally we call it out Heater Sage Miron behind it because you can only call it the same column. And this is amazing because the whole deck, the strikes of the deck actually helps you fix magic numbers. So do not worry if you are hitting shitty numbers because you are boosted by Miron, which is like 14k, yeah, 14k column. Once you strike into these units, you'll be hitting magic numbers. So you'll be hitting like for 13k or you'll be hitting for 17k or 16k. So it's fine. It's okay to have shitty rolls because your strikes fix those problems. And he is great because you call Miron, which in turns Miron can Soul Blast 1 to draw 1 free card. So you're getting huge hand advantage. The great thing about this deck is not only it destroys Chaos Breaker decks, it also allows you to get huge hand size by drawing into a lot of cards. This is one of the most tankiest Paladin decks I've played, and he has a lot of advantage engine, actually, and he has early game rush, which is very, very good in this meta. And don't think just because this deck counters solely counter Chaos Breaker Dragons. I fought with this deck and he has defeated many opponents as well. Alright, next is 2 copies of Knight of Twin Swords. Knight of Twin Swords is GB1. When this unit is boosted, you can counter blast 1. If you do, search your deck for grade 2 and superior core it to your rearguard circle. So it's great because sometimes you do not have units, you don't have rearguards, and you could use Knight of Twin Swords and help tilt out your field. So yeah, 2 copies is fine. Next, 2 copy of Blasterblade Seeker. Mostly used as the Legion mate for Alfred the 14. Blasterblade Seeker is when you control a Seeker Vanguard. When this unit is placed on rearguard circle, you can counter blast 1 and retire 1 grade 2 or higher unit in the front row. Yeah. So, correct. 2 copies of Blasterblade Seeker, mainly used as a Legion only. One tag-in copy of Starlight Violinist. The reason why I only play 1 copy is because sometimes in the early game, when I ride into Alfred, I'm already at 3 damage. So most of the time, I'll be using the starter skill into search a grade 2, then search into Benon search another card. So at 3 Count Blast, I can fill up my field just like that. Go into formation fast. That's the key of the Alfred deck. So 1 copy is fine. 1 copy, a very interesting card. Rotary Mage. Her ability is when this unit is placed on the rearguard circle, you may pay the cost of Counter Blast 1 and Soul Blast 1. If you do, select 2 of your units and unlock them. You have to control Alfred Vanguard. So this is why Alfred is a very anti-Link Joker deck. So select 2 units and unlock them. After that, select 2 units on your field and gains a 2k power. So once again, adding that double 2k power, which is 4k, can give you a lot of magic numbers opportunities. So when you strike, you can call her with like Odd Mao and fixed magic numbers as well, and I can unlock units. So even if you run out of strides, you can use her to unlock 2, which is normally enough to screw opponents over. Alright, next is 1 copy of Armes. Armes is, well, he's really useful because we play 2 blasters in the deck, and during the turn you strike into Holy Squire, all your Royal Paladins get a 2k power. So you put it behind 6k is 11k. When you control Alfred Vanguard, it's an 11k beat stick. And when the attack hits, you can superior call by paying the cost of 1 Count Blast, you can superior call 1 blaster card. So most of the time I'll be calling Blaster Seeker, and you may activate the blaster skill without paying the cost. So when you call him out, you can just pop 1 for free. So that's really good because it provides pressure. Your opponent won't want this unit to hit. And the best part is when this card is placed in front of the 6k booster, when you strike into Holy Squire, 8 is a 15k card. Because 6 plus 4k, 10k plus 11k. So yeah, magic numbers. So yeah. For grade 1s, we play 4 Strike Helpers. Basically, this deck is a Strike deck, so we play a lot of Strike. Yeah, self-explanatory basically. 4 copies of Unflippable Perfect Guards because this deck actually eats quite a lot of Counter Blast with Twin Sword and Benon. All your pluses is all based on your Counter Blast, so use them wisely. 4 copies of Miron because Miron is the main search target for Benon, and it can give you a free card. When this unit is placed on the rearguard circle from your deck, you may Soul Blast 1. If you do, you can draw 1 card. So yeah, freaking amazing. This is one of my favorite engines in the Royal Paladin. 2 copies of Knights of Wind something. His skill is, while this card's on the rearguard circle, and you control Alfred Vanguard, you may intercept this card from the back row. You may place this card into a Guardian Circle and discard 1 card. If you do, it gains a 10k shield. This is the reason why this is one of the most tankiest deck. At the cost of discarding 1 card and intercepting from back row, he is a 15k shield. So instead of dropping your hand for 15k, you could use this and intercept from back row. The best part, it can be searched out from Benon. So if you think you really need the actual defense, you can just use Benon, search him out. Very, very handy card. This card has saved me a lot of times in tournaments. The starter you play is Guidance Sage. activate skill. When you control an Alfred Vanguard, you may pay the cost of counterblasting one and put this guy into soul. If you do, search your deck for a grade 2 or less Royal Paladin card and call it to your Rearguard circle. After that, shuffle your deck. Okay, this card is amazing because it doesn't have a GB skill. So when you write into your Alfred, straight away you could activate his skill of counterblasting one and setting up your field ASAP. So most of the time I'll be using him to search out either Benon or if I have enough counterblast, 3 counterblast, I will search him out. So yeah, this guy is a really great starter. Alright, for trigger lineup, we play the standard aggressive build. 8 crits, 4 draws, 4 heals. For the strides, we play 4 copies of Holy Squire Dragon. This card is what makes the deck. This guy is from the comic booster, Vanguard versus Deletors. So what his skill is, activate once per turn, flip out a copy of Holy Squire Dragon in your G-Zone. If you do, for this turn, all your other Rearguard skills has 2k power. So yeah, as I mentioned before, all your columns gain a 4k boost, which fix a lot of magic numbers. Second ability is if you have GB3. So for during the first strike, you could actually when your first strike, you can actually use the skill, flip itself up and unlock all units, even during your first strike. But I suggest you, if you are really in dire situation of like you're getting locked very shittily, like you got the horrible triangle lock, use the skill to unlock yourself. His second skill is GB3. So you have 3 cards on the G-Zone face up. For each Royal Paladin you control, it gains a 3k power. So basically it's a same low dragon. So most of the time I'll be striding into, if I'm not fighting Link Jokers, I'll be striding into him first. Second strike Odd Mao. Third strike Odd Mao, then finally him, because by then my opponent most likely will use up all his perfect guards. Hell yeah, guard 45k 2 pass, biatch. Yeah, so this guy is freaking huge, and you have to know when to use him, because if your opponent check a perfect guard, please do not use him. Yeah, very great, very good card. So every time he flips itself up, you can unlock every single card in the field. So this is what makes the whole deck run. Right, next is 4 copies of the best strike in Royal Paladins. Skill is when this unit enters the Vanguard circle, you may flip a copy of yourself face up in your G-Zone. If you do, your front row gains a 3k power until end of turn. And if you have 2 or more face up cards in a G-Zone, you may superior call 1 grade 2 from your deck to your Rearguard circle. If you do, that unit gains a 5k power. Freaking awesome, because it doesn't need any counterblast to pull off his skill. So yeah, this is one of the best Royal Paladins. So I recommend you to play 4 at every single deck because it's just too good. So my fellow Paladins, join the defenders of Cray today and liberate the locks and become your heroes your local deserve. Peace out and love you guys.